I was about to say that this is always one of my favourite interviews.
Oh, thank you.
I really enjoy seeing you guys. It's always fun.
Hello, my name's Frank, and I'm here to interview my very good and old friend Simon.
Yay!
So how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. How's the tour?
It's been wonderful.
Excellent.
Sold out.
Brilliant.
Sold out Ali Pali. It's coming up in a couple of days.
Good. Excellent.
I mean, I've never stepped foot on stage there, but I'm guessing it's going to be quite nerve-wracking.
I'm sure you'll be fine. This got weird already. Those shows, that's actually the Ali Pali Theatre, which is really exciting. It's a room. This is a mad story about Ali Pali Theatre. So when they built Alexandra Palace in the late 19th century, they then built an extension that was the theatre, and it was funded by a rich woman who loved the theatre, but who didn't work in theatre, never been backstage at a theatre. So the front of it looked perfect like a theatre, and then the stage was essentially against a wall. There was no hanging space, no dressing rooms, no staging space or anything, because she'd never been backstage. So they built the whole thing, and then they opened it, and the actors came in and went, what? Like, we can't use this. So they immediately then had to close it for refurbishment. Then it got bombed in the war, and then they've reopened it like about 2 years ago.
See, I love the fact straight away in there with a history fact.
Yeah, well, it's a good history fact, and it's a relevant one to your upcoming shows at Ali Pali.
Yeah, I mean, the day I sell at Ali Pali, there is definitely something wrong with the world.
I can see it.
Well, thank you for being so kind.
I do my best.
Right, so yes, we are here with
Hello.
Mr. Frank Turner.
Hi.
Myth, the legend.
Definitely a myth.
Right, it's getting close to Christmas. We always do a gift. I did try and get a Sister Rosetta vinyl, but it turns out they are very hard to get hold of.
Yes, they are very hard to get hold of and not cheap.
No, that's another thing. I did find one and it was like £100. I was like, I like you. Yeah. But
I would be quite dismayed if you spent £100.
Yeah, the boss was like, no.
Yeah.
The budget doesn't stretch that far.
Okay.
So because obviously we are on the Be More Kind, No Man's Land. This is in relation to No Man's Land.
Okay, so you want me to open it now?
Yeah, so it's up to you. It's an early Christmas present.
You were also reminding me that I haven't done my Christmas shopping.
Oh, nor have I. This is technically done by my mum as well. Okay. Not even by me.
Okay. What do we have?
So it's in relation to No Man's Land.
Oh, yeah, I know about this book, but I don't have a copy of it. That's awesome. Bad Girls Throughout History. Amazing. Yeah. It's actually one of those things where like a bazillion people told me about this book once I look at Matahari, who I have a song about. Yeah, this is amazing. Marie Curie. If I'd had this book before writing the record,
you could have made a double album.
The research process might have been quicker, should we say. I mean, I'm not sure this constitutes research per se, but it's a great book. Thank you.
That's all right.
Lovely.
That's an early Christmas present.
I tell you this every time, and it remains true. The badge that you gave me still sits in. That goes over there.
That's where it's filed.
The badge that you gave me still sits in pride of place on the mantelpiece in my house.
I still like the fact that I made that in about 10 minutes.
I know, and it sits in pride of place, and indeed, it is now in the second house that it has been in. It has moved with me from one part of North London to another.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's an important thing.
Because you don't know you've made it.
Well, but
until you got a badge.
You answered my question. And ladies and gentlemen, watching this, I'd like to celebrate the arrival of my coffee in the hands. Matt Nazir, give him a wave. Just stick your head in front of the camera. Hello. Thanks, Matt.
You're very welcome.
Okay, I've got coffee now. This isn't how life usually goes on tour.
Yes, it is.
Waited on hand and foot.
Yes, right, exactly. I'll put that over there.
We also do have a game coming up later, as always.
Great.
The second time I ever interviewed was in, I think it was like Birmingham or something.
Right.
And we played a game called Frank on Frank. The game is back, but the only thing that remains is the name. Everything else about the game has changed.
I can't really remember what happened last time.
It was awful. So that was about 5 years ago anyway.
So we have been doing this for a while, haven't we?
Yeah, this is the seventh time. Seventh time.
I saw your name on the schedule for today and I was excited, and that's a genuine true thing.
Yes. Oh yeah, I also forgot to say, because we started so weirdly, congratulations on the wedding.
Oh, thank you very much. It's awesome. I'm an evangelist for marriage now. How long that will last, time will tell. But for the I mean, it's just awesome. It's the best thing ever done.
Yeah. So I have decided that everyone says your wedding day is the most magical day of your life, and I've decided that's because you no longer have to plan a wedding after that day is done.
You know, here's a funny thing about planning weddings. If you work in the live music or entertainment industry, the whole thing about like planning a wedding's a nightmare. It just isn't remotely true.
Oh, okay.
It's just
I'm in the wrong industry.
Well, it's funny. Like I was chatting to Jay Beans on Toast about it because he got married 5 years ago, whenever it was, and he was sort of saying, you know, he went into it and everyone was like, planning weddings can be a nightmare, and he started working on it. And you know, Jay used to book Frog, and he books Club Nights, he books the Monarch and all the rest of it, and he was like, this is easy. He was like, it's easier than what I do every day because you're not worried about turnout. Do you know what I mean? You know people are coming. You don't get to the night before the wedding and send out a bunch of flyers to Camden Tube Station trying to drum up more business.
You could do.
I suppose you could, but I mean, do you know what I mean? And like, you know, there was a moment during the wedding planning where I was dealing with like a guest list, a band's like technical rider, and like catering budgets and stuff. And I was like, I do this all the time. This is my day job. So it was fine.
Oh, okay. Well, it's definitely not fine for me.
Okay.
Right.
Well, I'm not. I would offer my services as a wedding planner, but I won't.
If the music ever stops. So.
True. I did also. I sort of only about 3/4 jokingly said to Tree, my tour manager, whether she'd be interested in like tour managing the wedding, and she was like, "Go away and fuck yourself." But she was obviously there. But she was like, "You cannot pay me enough money to do that."
That yeah. I don't even know where to go with that. Right. So we have some proper questions from you know, real fans. Instead of just nonsense from me. So Claire wants to know, will there be any more podcasts? Because she loves history, you love history, and also kind of second part of to the question, Suzanne asks, would you ever write a book, and what historical subject would you pick?
More podcasts, not in the No Man's Land series, because each episode was tied to a song, and unless I decide to write a sort of part 2, it feels to me like that series is a complete thing. Having said that, I really enjoyed the process as a creative outlet and as a way of talking about history in public, and that was really, really cool for me. And I am in the middle of having a think about what to do next as far as that goes. You know, I would love to make talking about history in public a part of my regular kind of professional arsenal, if you like, because I'm really passionate about it. And you know, I mean, I've sort of mooted the idea of just doing like a history of popular music kind of podcast or radio show or something. Probably podcast. Yeah, there are pluses and minuses to that idea. You know, in some ways I feel like it might want to be a bit more specific, but at the same time I was so specific with this one that it finished and then I can't do any more.
Yeah.
So having the bells are tolling.
This happened last time.
Really?
Yeah.
For whom the bell tolls. Did I crack that joke last time?
No.
Probably. Oh, right. Okay. My humour repertoire is limited. But yeah. So I mean, I'd love to do more of it. In terms of books, I mean, I have written 2 books, but they were both about me and required zero research. But the research went like this. Oh yeah. And then I write it down.
Your memory's not that good.
No, well, I did occasionally look through some old sort of flyers and photos and set lists and stuff. But for
did
the most
I do
part,
that?
yeah, there is a bit of that. I mean, there's been enough shows now that every now and again someone's like, "Remember that show?" And I'm like, "No." But 2,427 tonight.
I know.
And then I have an idea for a book, a sort of history book, but it's more in the vein of like authors like Ian Sinclair. And Peter Ackroyd, kind of the term people use, which I think is a naff one, is psychogeography, but it's kind of London history is my absolute passion.
Yes.
And I've lived the majority of my life on or around the Holloway Road in North London, and nobody has ever written a history of the Holloway Road specifically that I can locate. And the idea of writing a kind of personalised walking history of the Holloway Road is really interesting to me. But it would require years of research and actual work. So it's kind of one of those ideas that I have kind of parked for like when I'm feeling masochistic.
And actually decide to stop touring for more than a week.
I would need to like spend like 6 months in the Islington Museum archives and stuff like that. So it would be a different project, a new challenge. But then I'm also thinking about writing a play at the moment. And I have literally no idea how to do that. I've got a plot. I just don't know how to write a play.
I've got a plot for a film, and I don't know where to go with it. It's very complicated.
Unfortunately, neither of us can help each other by the sounds of it.
No, we're both equally as bad at this.
Right. But my missus is an actress, and so she's
you've got a slight head start.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Jenny wants to know: are there any women that you wished you could have featured in No Man's Land, but you just couldn't because of time, space, and all that sort of thing?
Very much so. I had an incredibly long list of people that I was kind of reading up on. Because the thing that I would do, the first thing is at the beginning, it wasn't a gendered thing. I was just writing down stories that I thought were cool and that would make for good songs. And I started doing it, and I got about 5 songs in and realized they were all about women, and that struck me as interesting. So I decided to follow that. At which point I started asking around. I have a lot of very smart, knowledgeable friends, and my friend Seema, who's Egyptian, suggested Huda Sha'arawi for me and this kind of thing. So I ended up with this enormous list, and with each one I'd sort of go and read the Wikipedia article and see if anything sparked.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Within that, there were, I really wanted to write a song about Amelia Earhart, the German aviator, because her life was bananas, but couldn't find my in. Because at the end of the day, it's songwriting as well.
Yes.
It's not just talking about it. You've got to find a melodic and a musical idea to go with. I really wanted to write a song about Delia Derbyshire, the BBC Sonics pioneer, mainly because her name is so nice to say. Delia Derbyshire.
Delia Derbyshire. If
you had a song in 6/8, it'd be Delia Derbyshire, bum, ba-dum, bum. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Never did get any further than what I've just sung you. And then there was a pirate who was called Sadie the Goat.
That's just a cool
female
name.
pirate. It's a cool name. We don't know anything else about her, basically, or at least nothing certainly. And on the one level, it was like, well, that gives you kind of a blank canvas to say whatever you want. But that just felt a bit ahistorical to me, so I didn't follow that one up.
Okay.
But there were loads of others as well.
Yeah. So also, AD wants to know, if you could do a covers album, what would you pick?
Well, I have done a lot. I've released a fair few covers on the first 3 years, second 3 years, third 3 years, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I sort of wrapped up that rubric for presenting rarities because it felt like it was getting a bit laboured.
Yeah.
And the 6th 3 years doesn't really sort of ring out to me. But that said, since doing the 10 for 10, which was the kind of wrap up one, which was now like 3 or 4 years ago, there is a huge pile of shit that I want to get out there, and I'm sort of starting to toy with ideas about how to do that. We'll see. So I've done quite a few. In seriousness, and actually this goes back to the previous thing we were talking about, one idea that I did have for another album podcast project, I'm obsessed with the history of music hall and London Music Hall, and lots and lots of sheet music for music hall still exists. Recordings don't exist because music hall has effectively died before recording was a thing. But you could make an album of music hall songs, and it would be in part a tribute to the late great Chaz Hodges of Chaz and Dave, who I was fortunate enough to meet once and play with on that occasion, which was one of my lifetime achievements. But music hall, I think, is a really important thing, and very few people know anything about it or know any of the songs. You probably know My Old Man's a Dustman,
yes,
and Doing the Lambeth Walk.
Yeah.
Those are pretty much the only 2 music hall songs that anybody knows. And there are loads of others that are absolutely beautiful. And I'd love to do a music hall album and then do a podcast that went with that. That's an idea I've had.
You're just a man full of ideas, aren't you?
I know, but the thing is, this is the way it works. You have a million ideas and then about 2 of them happen.
Yeah.
So don't get too excited about any of this shit.
All right, it's time for the game.
Right, I'm ready.
So, Frank on Frank. This is very, very game show. Time for Frank on Frank. Yeah, there we go. That's the theme tune. Right. So I have 5 Franks. You have to work out what who the Franks are from the clues.
Right.
He has sold over 150 million albums, and he was one of the Rat Pack.
Frank Sinatra.
Easy. He is was a professional footballer and is now the manager for Chelsea. You need to get...
Hold on. No. I think I know the answer to this, but I want to preface this by saying that we have a game on our touring family, which is see if Frank has heard of any footballers, because I know nothing about football at all.
Nor do I.
And I'm like, David Seaman, and everyone's like, from like 20 years ago.
Yeah, he had a ponytail.
Frank Lampard.
Yes! That's the one. Right, you only need to get 3 of these right to win the prize, and it's a very exciting prize.
Okay, how many are there? 5?
There's 5.
Okay, let's do all 5.
Yeah, we're going to.
Oh.
That's how game shows work.
Oh, I see.
Right, this one. He released over 60 albums, both solo projects and with his band, The Mothers of Invention.
Frank Zappa.
Yeah, that was easy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right, this one is very difficult, unless you are an avid Simpsons fan. So, this Frank is an employee of Springfield Nuclear Power Plant, an enemy of Homer Simpson, and shares his last name with a style of UK music.
Okay, wait, because I know the episodes, and he's like the sort of like goody two shoes guy who Homer just kind of ruins his life.
Yeah.
And there's more than one episode with him in it.
Yeah, he's in a few.
Yeah. It says UK music.
There's also a singer with this name.
I can't remember. I know who you're talking about.
Frank Grimes.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Frank Grimes.
That was the closest I could get to it.
Yep.
Right.
Good.
This last Frank, on a list of famous Franks, when I Googled it, he appeared at number 28. It is less than a month till his birthday. He is a big fan of history and once judged a dog show in Winchester.
Yes. Number 28. I got number 28.
28 on famous Franks.
Huh. I'm not sure quite how I feel about that.
That's quite
Frank
high.
Sinatra, Frank Bruno, Frank Spencer.
It was an
Frank
American
Lampard.
website.
American website. Okay,
Yeah.
well, there you go. The goddamn Yanks. No, fair enough. Cool, lovely, excellent. Me is the answer to that question.
Yes, it
so
is
I
you.
won a prize.
Yes, you won a
4 out of
prize.
5. I did know who the Simpsons one was. I just couldn't remember the name.
You may not be able to see this prize.
Right.
You should know this.
There's nothing in your hand.
There's nothing in my hand.
Thank you so much. I won an adopted llama.
You can't see it.
I've got to think of a name. I'm really into animal pun names. Give me a second here. Joan Llama Trading. There you go. Joan the Llama Trader.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant.
Right, well, we're pretty much getting close to the 20 minutes, so we'll have to wrap this up. I just wanted to say, well, it's kind of like a statement and a sort of question.
Right.
But like, it's kind of a weird thing for me to be in this position because I am a massive fan of yours and have been for a number of years, and obviously professionally have been able to meet you 7 times now and interviewed, I think it's about 9 or so because we've done phone interviews and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's just weird for me because on like a personal level, your songs mean so much. Like my fiance's walking down the aisle to There She Is.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah,
That's
thank
awesome.
you. And so
When's the wedding?
February next year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So it's kind of like a weird place to be in where like, obviously this seems really normal, but it's like, but the music's so personal to me. Throughout your time as a musician, have you ever met someone like that? That's someone that you've like listened to for a long time and like, they mean a lot to you and you've kind of gone, oh yeah, just to try and act cool and feel like and it just feels normal.
Yeah. Well, I've been very fortunate to meet a lot of musicians that I enormously respect. The ones that spring to mind, John K. Sampson from the Weekends is arguably my favourite songwriter ever. We have played a bunch of shows together. We've hung out. We tend to have dinner together when I'm in Winnipeg and all the rest of it. And he is an incredible writer, but he's an incredibly sweet human as well.
Yeah.
He's quite a sort of shy, reserved guy, and there is a part of me that is just going every single time I'm in the room with him. So I would hesitate to call us like good friends.
Yeah.
But he is a really lovely guy, and we email every now and again. And he tends to kind of like send me kind of essays on my records, which is incredible because he's like an English lecturer as well. So it's just an incredible thing for me. On the flip side of that, I mean, like Fat Mike I would consider a good friend, and I unquestionably grew up listening to NOFX more than anything else, and it's a wonderful thing for me to be able to just like drop him a text every now and again and be like, "What's up, fucko?" and when we cross paths on tour, it's awesome, and maybe we might tour together at some point. Maybe.
There's a wink. If you can't see that, there's a big old wink.
I didn't say anything.
Maybe NOFX and maybe Frank Turner and Sleeping Souls. Maybe.
In some form or another, at some point, at some place in the world.
This sounds amazing.
That's all I'm going to say.
For not happening.
But yeah, so I mean, he's definitely somebody who it's totally straight down the line.
Yeah.
There's no bother there. And I mean, Billy as well. Billy Bragg is like just a mate. Do you know what I mean? And like that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
But with all due respect to Bill, I got into Bill kind of in my mid-20s. I've been into NOFX since I was like 14.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a bigger deal for me.
Awesome. Well, as always, it's an absolute pleasure.
Always.
Thank you so much. As always.
I need to get you more presents. I feel bad.
It's fine.
Okay.
No one ever gets me anything.
Oh my god. Right, motherfucker. Okay, hold on. One more thing. When's this going out?
Wednesday.
Okay. There might also be some more UK shows in my future.
Ooh.
Right. Reasonably soon. And there might be some in this part of the world.
Reasonably soon.
Right. And if that happens, get in touch and we'll sort another interview.
Yes.
And I'm going to get you a present.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah?
Yes, this is definitely happening.
There we go.
Thank you very much.
Till next time.
Yes.